because it's this kind of information that shows them exactly what's going to drive you far beyond salary, far beyond development opportunities. And this is what's going to push you to success alongside your teammates when the stakes are high. Hey Badass, welcome back to the Badass Careers YouTube channel, which is the place to be to build a career and life you love. And if we haven't met before, my name is Rosie. I'm an online career coach and the founder of Badass Careers, which is completely dedicated to helping you to find your purpose, get clarity and direction in your career, to brand yourself, and to land or create that next opportunity yourself and get paid what you're worth. And one of the most underrated pieces of marketing collateral that I've seen in the job search and when it comes to branding yourself is the cover letter. And I think it's because cover letters have been done so poorly for so long that people don't really understand the potential of being given an entire page to write several hundred words on your fit and hunger for this role in the company. And people haven't been doing it right. And so they haven't necessarily seen the results. Now, when my clients use their cover letters, they get told time and time again in the interview, because they often get the interview, your cover letter was excellent. Your cover letter really made you stand out. And I've seen it time and time again as well, working in HR, working in recruitment. Often when a manager cannot quite decide between two final candidates for a role, they go back to the original application and they look at the cover letters and they see who had that grit and that hunger and that real enthusiasm and passion for the role as well. So it's a very strategic and very important document. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the #1 secret to writing a cover letter that recruiters, hiring managers, and companies love. And basically it comes back to the fact that in 21st century careers, personal branding and storytelling skills reign supreme. It really comes down to fit, and it really comes down to who you are and what unique strengths you can bring to the table that will provide your own unique twist in this role. So without further ado, let's jump into the one thing that you can be doing with 3 very concrete examples that's really going to shift the dial for you and your cover letters. And it basically all comes back to the fundamentals of human psychology. But just before I jump in, I did want to invite you to a free resume masterclass that I'm running at the end of this month. I'm really excited for it, and I'm going to be giving away some of my best stuff. It's called 5 Keys to a Modern Interview Generating Resume that will help you to stand out even in an ultra competitive job market. So if this sounds like something that you'd love to learn more about, click the link in my description box down below and I'll see you live at the end of the month. Okay, so where were we? Fundamentals of human psychology. Yes. So humans are linguistic beings. We've created our world, we create our culture, we create our experience of life basically through our language and through stories. And humans are also emotional decision makers when it comes to making purchasing decisions. And things that drive our buying and purchasing behavior are very much anchored in language and stories. I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely spent some time scrolling through Give a Little pages or similar, or like Kickstarter projects, and you're reading that story and it elicits something in you and you're just like, take my money, just like spending money and like donating cash to all of these causes or cool projects because you resonate with the story. Now, I'm not saying you're a product, but I am saying that you will have a story or an element of your story that you can bring in and help to make that emotional purchasing decision and connection happen. So in the professional context, in the cover letter context, what does it look like to tell a story? I'm going to share 3 examples from real clients, very recent, who have done this technique and landed interviews, and it really works. And then we're going to debrief what worked and why and how you can do the same. So here's example #1. I'm not exaggerating when I say that Runtastic was the fuel behind some of the biggest transformations of my life. When Runtastic came along in 2011, it saved my life and my health by pushing me to start running and helped me lose over 40 kilos. Then quarantine hit, and let me tell you, those Instagram lives of yours kept me accountable and made me show up every single day. Now it's my time to give back, to channel my undying passion for this incredible platform to help shape the future of Runtastic. I've dedicated the past 7 years to empowering international teams to grow and rock the marketing universe, and I have found my true calling in building disruptive marketing strategies that transform a company's vision into engaging stories for their consumers. and then it goes on. So what works here is that Runtastic, if you don't know, is a running app owned by Adidas. What works here is that they've used their personal connection to the product and the way it changed their life to why they want to work for this company. And when you can do that, the employer has no doubt in their mind that you are going to show up when times get tough, when you need to be resilient, when you need to really go above and beyond in the team culture. You don't even need to say it. It's just there. Let's give you a second example. Now, this example is from a client of mine who applied for an online pet care platform who sells pet food and pet toys and pet care solutions. So they're animal people, and they especially love their dogs, and they talk a lot about having, you know, the dogs in the office and a lot of members of the team being dog lovers and stuff like that. So my client made a connection with her and her relationship with her dog. So let's check it out. 2 years ago, I rescued an abandoned black lab mix named Zafira, whose tail was cut off as a puppy so she could be sold as a Rottweiler for a higher price. When I got her, she was scared of everything, even squeaky toys. 2 years later, she's a loving and happy pup who's more spoiled than ever, and squeaky toys have now become her absolute favorite sound in the world. Safe to say, I feel incredibly connected to the way Chewy's platform and products help to keep pets and their parents happy. Naturally, when this self-confessed employee experience junkie saw you were looking for a manager employee engagement to help make Chewy a best-in-class place of work, I knew I had to apply. See how powerful that is when it leads you in to why you're here, why you're applying for this role. Again, that connection to the company. It doesn't always have to be the company. It can be the industry, it can be the role, it can be something else that you've connected with. You could be a consumer. Maybe your family have experienced the product or the service in some way. Finding these connections is so, so powerful. Let me give you a third example. As a mission-driven professional with degrees in international development and law, as well as several years of human rights field experience, I've seen firsthand that to make a real impact on people and communities, everyone needs a seat at the table. For this reason, I was very excited to learn about Ground Truth Solutions and your approach ensuring the voices of humanitarian aid recipients are not left out of the design and implementation of aid policies. I first witnessed how aid policies are implemented in the field while studying in Nepal. It was an eye-opening experience to learn that intended beneficiaries of development aid often had very different views of aid organizations than I had imagined as a student. Through interviewing street children as part of an independent research project on the effectiveness of NGOs working with at-risk children in Kathmandu, I learned the majority had no interaction or positive interaction with the high-profile, well-financed international organizations operating in Nepal, and that there was serious work to be done when it came to advocacy and communication. So this is very, very compelling, because if you'd seen the job ad, you'd have seen the convictions of the company and the purpose of this role that she's going for and why this job ad even exists, the problems that they're trying to solve. And she has absolutely answered this through storytelling. She shared a strong opening conviction that made you sit up and pay attention, and then she linked her personal experience to the needs of the role. Now, it doesn't always need to be so intense. You can also just find an interesting angle or part of your personality that works. I'll just give you a super, super quick bonus example. I'm a big believer in the power of communities and definitely identify as that person who's organizing community events any chance she gets, connecting people and making introductions for neighbors and friends. Perhaps this is why I connect so deeply with Facebook's mission to build social value, giving people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. See, that's just linking to a personality trait, right? Being that person who's like on neighborhood watch and always bringing the community together, and is a big fan of community in general, it still works well to make you stand out and land interviews. So my concluding advice to you is don't just link, the generic information that you can get on the website and the job ad and stick that in the first paragraph. Anyone can do that. I want you to ask yourself some questions. Do you have a big link between yourself and the company? Have you been a customer? Have you met people who worked at the company that inspired you? Have you worked for a competitor and understand their product mix? Did the founder of the company also start out as a graduate? Did someone on the hiring team also go to the same school as you? Is there an emotional attachment somewhere in there between their story and your story? Have you had a particular life experience that's caused you to have the values that you do and aligns to some of their values? All of these will help you to figure out, can I tell them something human? Can I tell them something real? Because it's this kind of information that shows them exactly what's going to drive you far beyond salary, far beyond development opportunities, This is what gets you out of bed in the morning. And this is what's gonna push you to success alongside your teammates when the stakes are high. If you'd like some more support on this, I do have an amazing free resource called Nail That Hook for cover letter hooks specifically. So I will leave that in the description box for you down below. I think you'll absolutely love it. It's going to be very, very inspiring for you to understand how you can open your next cover letter strategically. There are loads and loads of concrete examples. And while you're down there, don't forget to sign up for my free resume masterclass because it's going to be lit. Anyways, I hope that you guys have an awesome day. And if you're the kind of person that wants to build a really meaningful and purpose-led and successful career, I definitely recommend that you hang around. So hit subscribe down below as well. I release videos every single week, so you can't miss me. So until then, stay badass, and I'll see you next time. Bye.